Hey guys, welcome back to the Jersey Comic Crew. And on today's episode, we are breaking down all the Easter eggs that you need to know about Loki, episode 1. Come on in.
What's up, everybody? We're the Jersey Comic Crew, and as Chris just said, we are talking Loki episode 1 Easter eggs. These are all the Easter eggs that we thought you should know and be aware of that happened in this first episode. Chris, why don't you take us away?
Absolutely, Rob. So guys, first up, we have Loki getting the Space Stone. He lands in Mongolia. And of course, he does his speech from Avengers, which we haven't seen since 2012, to a bunch of Mongolians that have no idea what he's saying. And he basically gets up and pontificates and says, I am Loki and I'm burdened with glorious purpose, which is, of course, also the name of the episode as well.
Oh, very nice.
So as the TVA arrests Loki for, crimes against humanity, they view variants in a similar way, I noticed, as comic book fans view variant comics. And Rob, I was wondering if you caught this one, because I don't even know if this is an Easter egg, everyone, but to me it is. And they view variants, it's like, oh, it's another variant, or like this variant, and blah, blah, blah. The way real comic fans are like, variants are just a ploy to get my money, get out of my face, like, just give me my book and let me go home.
I think that's you pushing an agenda less than Easter egg. Because I view variants, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but maybe I don't want it, or I'm not spending the money on it. But I understand the plight of a lot of comic book fans, especially in today's climate of making 1,000 variants for one comic, and you only want one of them. Yes.
Yeah, or none of them. So in that same scene, Loki is getting arrested in Mongolia and being brought to the TVA. Hunter B-15, which, if you guys have seen Lovecraft Country, she's the sister in that as well. She arrests Loki, and on her wrist kind of screen gauntlet, it says the number 401. Now, this is a nod to two things. Number one, April Fool's Day, right? April 1st, which is Loki's day on the calendar year. He is the God of Mischief. Mm-hmm. And of course, April Fool's is a mischievous day, where also Thor and Loki have a wager that takes place in Thor number 401.
Oh.
Which is based kind of like 1,000 years in the past, which also connects to similarly to the DB Cooper scene where he's like, I lost a bet to Thor, so I had to do this.
Gotcha. Pretty cool.
So, guys, next up we see, Loki's being brought into the TVA. He's very confused and he thinks it's all a hoax. He's falling from floor to floor and all these new things are happening to him, like, making sure he's not a robot and a real human person.
Which actually, Chris, if you didn't catch that, that is a Easter egg referencing life model decoys, which do not know that they're real or fake, and also Doombots. Doombots in the comic books all think they are Doctor Doom until they get destroyed. So that's why that was put in place there, so kind of like figure out if they're real or not. And
to tease me about Doom more.
Maybe to tease about the Fantastic Four and Doom.
Oh, amazing. No, I didn't catch that. That's a good catch. And so when they go in to the final level where there's that one guy who's still like being kind of a douchebag who gets zapped.
Yeah.
Because he didn't take like the deli ticket. And so they get the tickets or whatever, and he's going through. He has to watch this Miss Minutes video, which is like the little cartoon slogan clock telling you about time. And the Nexus gets mentioned again, which we first heard about the Nexus as the legend of the Scarlet Witch back in WandaVision, when Agatha Harkness is explaining that she's the Scarlet Witch. As well, fun fact, the Miss Minutes character voiced by character actor extraordinaire Tara Strong.
Oh, interesting. And this might mean that the Time Variance Authority are going to set their eyes towards the Scarlet Witch because she came into her power. So we might not see them. So we might see them again later on in the MCU.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't know if it's just going to be based on, hey, the Scarlet Witch has magic. That's a Nexus being. The time variants that come out of time are also Nexus beings. That has to be clarified, but it's interesting to see both sides of that as well. Mm-hmm. So now we move on and we get to Mobius. We meet Mobius for the first time, and he has a kind of a backstory in the comic books. He was a clone TVA agent back in Fantastic Four Annual 24. Another Fantastic Four hint right there. Mm. And he was made in homage to Marvel writers Mark Gruenwald and later Tom DeFalco, who used to also be the editor-in-chief at Marvel Comics.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
So a little bit more with Mobius. We get to my favorite scene personally, where Mobius is talking to Loki. He has this little screen where he's showing Loki his life. And on the screen, there's a small number 35 on it. And that refers to the classic Marvel comic, Journey into Mystery. Number 35, which is very old, back in the early 60s. And it's literally it's a story about a guy trapped going through time, which is very apt to what's going on here. And that title as well becomes Thor's main book once Stan Lee invents the character for Marvel Comics. That's the comic book he holds in the title.
That is a deep, 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 deep cut, my man.
So now we move on to one of the funniest kind of anecdotes in this show where Loki's kind of escaping and he's blipping into different places.
Yeah. He
goes back to the main offices where he meets Casey, who originally took the Tesseract from him when he showed up. And Casey's kind of like, befuddled and confused. He tells him we'll turn him into a fish. He doesn't even know what a fish is. And he opens the desk and gives him back the Tesseract. And Loki realizes that there's like numerous Infinity Stones inside of his desk. None of them are working, which if you checked out our first episode, Rob gives a great explanation of why they don't work. But we see a bunch of Infinity Stones, which seemingly is from a bunch of different timelines, which kind of symbolizes, hey, whether it's Thanos or someone else, someone is always almost trying to collect these to change time, to change something, to get power. As well, with sports fans out there, a Honus Wagner baseball card is in this desk drawer.
Who or what is that?
Honus Wagner, very old baseball player.
Okay.
Long story short, because this is the different demographic here, it is the most rarest baseball card ever in the world. It's probably worth more money than any other baseball card in the world. So that was very interesting. Talking about? Like millions. Millions. In mint condition, yes, with an S, plural. In mint condition, that card is worth millions of dollars.
Okay. Wow.
And obviously, everyone, the last big one is the one that I think we all freaked out about if you're a comic fan. Yep. And that is the mysterious weapon that is found by the TVA that they mention is from the third millennium, signifying that it may be directly related to Kang the Conqueror, who was born in the third millennium. He's over, past the year 3000. It signifies that it may be related directly to Kang the Conqueror because Kang in the comics is born after the year 3000.
I wonder if he's heard the Jonas Brothers song. you know the song in the year 3000?
It's probably on his mixtape.
It's probably on his mixtape.
Do they have mixtapes in the year 3000?
I think that's why. Or is he
like
back in
or
time.
He's like, hey, I want to hear that song again, and it just like plays.
I don't know. I think that's why he came back in time to meet the Jonas Brothers.
Probably.
But guys, those are all the major Easter eggs that we thought you should know after watching Loki episode 1. Thank you guys so much. Let us know down in the comments below what was your favorite Easter egg, or if there's a major one that we missed that we didn't talk about. Let us know.
And guys, thanks so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out a lot more than you guys even know. And if you're brand new, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We have so many more Loki videos coming for you guys. We've got E3 stuff coming. You do not want to miss that either. Nintendo and Xbox are going to go nuts this year. And you can check us out on our social medias for any updates on Instagram or Twitter at Jersey Comic. And as always, I am Chris Heller. That is Rob Moran. We're the Jersey Comic Crew, and we will see you next time.